Hello everyone. Hello. Hello. It's so good to see you. It's the weekend. Now, the weekend is my new series. It is about just a bunch of content coming out on the weekend. It's just like one day in the weekend that like I'm doing stuff and I'm like, series, the weekend. So I'm here today to kind of talk through this theater show that I saw recently. So it's kind of like a pseudo review, a pseudo get ready with me. So I'm here and I love it. Now, unfortunately, by the time this review goes up, you'll have like one day, I think, the rest of the weekend to go see it. So, you know, I just kind of want to discuss it because I think it's really interesting and I think it like covers a lot of interesting topics. And yeah, so I'm just gonna start by just foundationing my face because do you like my new setup also? Like, do you like it? Is it cute? Oh my god, I hope you like it. If you didn't know this about me, I am like the biggest musical theater nerd. I love musical theater a lot. And this show is one of my favorite shows ever of all time. Like, I don't know why I like it so much, honestly. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I don't know why I love it so much, but I just do. I just love it. I just love it so much. So that show is Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma. And when we say, yow, we're only saying, you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. I am in love with it. It was actually their first piece that they wrote together too. Their first musical that they wrote together. So I think that's pretty interesting. So I saw it at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts because I do live in Colorado. And the thing about the Denver Center for the Performing Arts is that they staged Oklahoma with an all-black cast. I have seen Oklahoma. I've seen like a ton of productions of it. My first exposure to it ever was in high school. Love high school theater. It was a great time. The first time I saw actual staging was the movie, the Oklahoma movie. Then PBS did a special with Hugh Jackman, who plays Curly, the lead. It's actually the reason he got cast for Wolverine. The reason he got cast for Wolverine is because they saw him in Oklahoma and he was real good. I don't know how Curly and Wolverine relate, but you know, I'm sure Hugh Jackman's thought it over a couple times. And I've seen it like just random productions of it. The most recent one I saw aside from this production of Oklahoma was one at the local theater, like one of the closest local theaters to me that I've worked with before is it's TheaterWorks. It is a Colorado Springs equity theater that is like connected to UCCS, and that also had non-traditional casting in a different way than the Oklahoma at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts. It didn't like seek to have like an entire cast of color, but it did try and cast I know it made a point of casting the leads as people of color. So there was a Hispanic man who played Curly, and then a Japanese woman who played Lori, and then like Ali Hakim was like an actual Middle Eastern actor, and like it was a good time. It was a good time. It was a great time. It was the first time I'd seen Oklahoma staged like that, and I think for Oklahoma it adds a lot to the production because I mean Oklahoma is kind of notorious for being, I don't want to say vapid, but a lot of people give it a bad rap for being just like an indulgence into nostalgia. It's definitely one of those musicals, like in Rodgers and Hammerstein especially, are like one of those kind of playwrights and musical theater writers, creators that are kind of known for making like things that are a little fluffy. Using the Huda Beauty Topaz Obsession palette, I like just got it. And it is like, wow, it didn't focus at all, but that's fine. It's like a fall dream. So, yeah, I think Oklahoma, when you take steps to kind of recontextualize it and add to it in like a, not death of the author sense, but like a little bit of a death of the author sense, it really helps the production overall. Because I mean, I find it more engaging, you know, when it's different cultural groups because it doesn't feel like a story that I've heard before, you know, because like in Frontier, like two men fighting over a woman, that's like quintessential like genre. Like I mean in Germany you have the Heimat film, in old Hollywood you have that same kind of trope in the Western genre. Like when it's like recontextualized through a different cultural group, it really adds to the story, I find. But that's just me. The Denver Center for the Performing Arts just got a new artistic director. His name is Chris Coleman, and it is his debut. It was his debut production. I know he said in the program that it was like the second time on the books that somebody has staged it with an all-black cast, and he also mentioned that the first time it was staged with an all-black cast, like that publicly, he actually directed a production of it like that in Portland as well as here. So that's super cool. I think that's pretty cool. I would have loved to see it in Portland too, because let me tell ya, I love Oklahoma. Like, long story short, guys, if you want to stop watching this review, I loved it. I loved it. I saw it on a Tuesday, and then I also saw it this past weekend because I forced my partner Charlie to go with me, and I wanted to talk about some particular things I really enjoyed about this production of it. Now, one was the actors and like everything about the ensemble, the leads. They were all just amazing. Like, I thought the ensemble was directed fantastic, particularly because the way they interacted with the set and the way they interacted with each other just kind of made the world feel very full and very believable, and it was really like easy to suspend disbelief to have the experience because of that. Like, just little touches like that just like kind of enhance and build upon the world that you're being given within the narrative itself. I thought those steps were taken really, really well, and I thought everyone was so strong. Like, everyone was fantastic. Oh my gosh. This isn't like a critique at all, but it's just something I noticed because I'm such a diehard Oklahoma fan. There was a cut to It's a Scandal, It's an Outrage, the song Ali Hakim sang. That was cut from the production. I couldn't quite figure out why. Like, if he said something about it in the program, I totally missed it, but I would just be interested to know why. Like, I mean, you know, I was just interested. I was like, why cut that one? Why cut that one out of everything? Like, which is fine. I mean, it didn't like change the story at all. Like, it didn't like, the story didn't lose or gain, you know, the story didn't lose anything, so it's not really like a critique on the play, it's just something I noticed. So then, the other thing was, I loved the pairings of people, like Ado, Annie, and Will, Judd and Lori, Lori and Curly. I thought they all like worked really well together, and everyone had really strong chemistry within their pairing. And that was really, really important to me because I have seen Oklahomas in the past where it's just like, it just doesn't make any sense, and like the pairings are just so weird, and like, not that they don't look like they should be together, but it's just like the way it's acted and the way it's blocked and staged, like the pairings just don't make sense together. So I felt like everyone really like looked very good together, and everything felt really natural within everybody's pairings. The dancing was also like, oh my god. The ballerina who played Lori, the like woman in the ensemble who went on to play Dream Lori, was just like blew me away both nights. She was so fantastic. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my god. I thought it was one of the best done dream ballets I've ever seen, because I mean, like, I think Oklahoma sometimes people just feel like they just gotta like, I feel like the ballet element is lost in a lot of stagings of Oklahoma because it's like just people are just like, just throw in the Lori we have. Just throw her in. Like, and that's fine. That works. Like, I mean, like, it works to a degree, but like I thought just really like playing up the ballet element of it and just really like telling the story through the dance, because I mean, like, that's why Rodgers and Hammerstein wrote in a 30-minute ballet, like crazy and long ballet sequence. And honestly, yeah, the staging, the lighting was really good. The way like everyone switched up was really interesting, and I loved like one in particular. I thought like, so they added in a little element of jumping the broom since it was an all-black cast, and I thought like it was just done so beautifully, and like the way she ran over it like every night, I was just like, yes, queen. Do you love how like literally all I have to say about it is that, oh my god, that was so good. I think, now the reason I wanted to talk about it on my channel and I didn't want to like just keep it inside was because I think it's really interesting in terms of like the broader like discussion that's been happening online recently. So there was some controversy because Red Dead Redemption announced that there would be like black cowboys in it. Like, I don't know why that would cause controversy, but whatever. People want to like people want to think on the weird ships. Like, let me tell you, just in the air culturally, like beyond theater, there's been this like broader discussion for some reason about kind of like what the West really looked like. And so I think this staging of Oklahoma was really important because it was just kind of like, without like directly challenging people and telling them they were idiots, it was like, yeah, people of color existed back in the West. As like a practicing Hispanic woman who is also like feels like awkward about how the West is portrayed, I thought that this Oklahoma did a fantastic job. The way it discussed of like outside of the theater as well as in the theater, the place of how there were so many all-black towns, and Oklahoma was almost declared just an all-black state, and like how they're very important in black cowboys are very important in the whole like expansion and manifest destiny and all that stuff. Like the way it kind of delved into those topics, I felt was very strong and very important, because like there are just certain like depictions of things that we don't realize or we don't even think about as being whitewashed because they're just so culturally coded. And I think it's really great to break those down and like through art and through really meaningful ways. Because I mean, like, it's not like it was militant, it's not like it was horrible and alienating. Like, it was just like a great time, and it was really fun, and it was just educational. They did like the curtain call where like they sing Oklahoma like right at the end, like after the bows, and I was just like, I was like, we know we belong to the land. But yeah, it was a really good time, honestly. Both times it was fantastic. Like one element that I felt like I was really like, before I like close out and like finish up my makeup, one element that I really loved in this Oklahoma is that just the idea of redefining how casting works is just really, really important, because I find that like a lot of characters aren't coded white, you know? Like there's no reason a person of color can't step into certain roles, but there's this belief that if a role is not specifically written for a person of color, they cannot play the role, and that's not true at all. And I think that's something that really needs to be redefined within media. And so I think this Oklahoma casting, like of an all-black cast, did a really, really fantastic job of just taking that a step further, taking the casting of people of color a step further in the theater world, and I love it. I think it's a great example to set for productions to come, because I mean, yeah, it's honestly, everyone is so multifaceted and multidimensional and multi-layered that people can become whatever they want, and people can play whatever they want. People can play all kinds of roles regardless of what color skin they are, or who they are, or like where they came from, or what their cultural background is. So that is the biggest love for this production of Oklahoma. It was just fantastic. Country bumpkin. So at Sephora the other day, I got this like holiday kit. It's not Christmas yet, but I was like, Christmas, holiday, guys. I'm gonna use the shade. Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna use the shade Exo Vlada. You know, I love Halloween and I love fall, but like, I'm ready for Christmas. But yeah, Oklahoma was a great time. If you like Oklahoma, let me know down below. A lot of people don't. But without further ado, I will see you guys on Monday for Mystery Monday. And then I will see you guys next weekend for the weekend. I'm doing a super cool thing next week that I'm hoping will become kind of like a regular thing on my channel, so really excited about that. I can't wait for you guys to see it, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Puse los frenos para que no arranques, con las mismas mentiras que todos ya saben. En mi corazón tú no tienes las llaves. Las perdiste ese día que tú me fallaste.